And Xbox Handheld, it could be canceled, according to Tom Warren. We have some interesting information here about some new games that are going to be coming out. Another game has dropped into Game Pass that a lot of people were looking forward to, and it's getting great reviews. So pretty exciting for that. And Tencent, they're looking to make another acquisition. Now, before we do jump into this, if you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, hit the subscribe, share the video, like the video, really helps get this channel out there for more people to see it. I see also many of you who do watch on a daily basis are not subscribed. So if you're one of those people and you are enjoying the channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button. But for now, let's jump into it. So at Summer Games Fest and at the Xbox Showcase, we got our first look into the future of Xbox and the future of the Xbox handhelds with the Asus ROG Xbox Ally and the ROG Xbox Ally X. The console itself, the handheld, looks phenomenal. From all the previews that have been coming out, there's a lot of positivity around these things. And what is more exciting about all of this is the new user interface and the console-like experience that Xbox is creating with the launch of these handhelds. This is going to be the beginning, I think, of the future of where Xbox is going to have that unified ecosystem across all of their devices. It's not fully realized yet because, of course, you can't play a lot of your console games on the Xbox ROG Ally. But I think they are working hard to get it to that point, or at least I hope they are, because that will be what everybody wants to see going forward, which is basically getting everything, your OG Xbox games, your 360 games, your Xbox One, and of course, your Xbox Series X and S games, all on the Xbox handheld. And I hope that is the future that they are working towards. But as of right now, when this thing does launch over the holiday season, I think a lot of people will be pretty impressed what they do have to show. But the other question people have is Xbox still creating a first-party Xbox handheld? And according to Tom Warren, that one is essentially canceled. This comes via his reports with his Notepad article. And he says this: I've heard from insiders that it's essentially canceled as the company focuses on Xbox's new software platform. And that would be what they showed off with the new user interface that is going to be on the ROG Xbox Ally. He goes on here to say, I still think we'll see next-gen Xbox hardware from Microsoft, but I also strongly believe we'll see multiple devices from PC makers like Asus that will also be considered next-gen Xbox consoles. So he still believes that Xbox is going to make some sort of first-party device for the next generation, and I believe he is correct on that. I think that will more than likely be the at-home console itself. But on top of that, from what we're seeing here with the Xbox handhelds, I think that is kind of the future. I think that is them hinting as to what is going to be happening going forward, which is that unified system, Xbox Windows in one place. And you're going to have partnerships and licensing between Xbox and other companies like Asus and Lenovo that are going to be able to go out there and make Xbox products. And then you just have more options of what you want to buy. I'm all for that. I think it actually is a good strategy. You do step back and take a look at where Xbox is going with their hardware. This is kind of that next logical step from everything that they have been trying to do, especially with stuff like Xbox Play Anywhere. And then you include Steam on these devices. You include the Epic Game Store and GOG, and you open that up. You're getting so much content in one place, and it will be a very enticing product for a lot of people. And if there's different price points and they have different options of how they want to do this, how they want to get into the ecosystem, that will also get a lot more people interested. So to me, this is exciting. And canceling the first party Xbox handheld is not a big shocker to me. I mean, I've made videos talking about how I thought Xbox needed to hurry up with their first party Xbox handheld and get something out sooner rather than later that showed off the new Xbox user interface, as they kept taking longer and longer to come out with anything, or at least to show off and talk about it besides random quotes here and there. I was getting the hint that they were moving more towards working with third parties to license out their user interface so that they can get these consoles out faster and so that they can start competing now in this gaming handheld market. The reality is SteamOS beat Xbox to the punch with this. SteamOS was already being licensed out to other manufacturers. We saw that with the Lenovo Legion OS. So They had to do something. This is their solution. And I think it is a great solution because it does also include games from Steam. You are limited with SteamOS. You are limited with a Steam Deck or a Lenovo Legion OS if you are using SteamOS because you're only getting your Steam content. With the Xbox stuff, you're getting access to everything. I think that's going to be the thing that they try to sell people on going forward. And for me, as somebody who's invested in the Xbox ecosystem, also has a big investment in Steam, having that all into one place with a nice user interface that allows launching and jumping in between games easily, I'm looking forward to this into the future. So I don't think we will be seeing an Xbox handle. When they said it was pushed to 2027, it really had me questioning whether this thing would come out. But the future of Xbox is on display. They showed it with the Xbox handhelds that they showed off at the Xbox showcase. And I think that is going to be very similar to what we get here going forward from the console at home experience. The box that you plug into your TV, I think it's going to be very similar to what we are seeing here with these Xbox handhelds going forward. The debate will always now continue, which is, I think, is kind of absurd because we know what Xbox is ecosystem is, we know what their marketing is, we know what their plan is, and that this is an Xbox style of thing is going to be attributed here to these consoles as well and to these handhelds. But you're going to have people out there who will continuously try to downplay this strategy. In my opinion, I think it is a good strategy and a smart strategy going forward. Now, when it comes to Game Pass, we're getting tons of great titles. A new one dropped into the service, one that I've been looking forward to. I did question whether this was going to be good or not, or whether it was going to live up to what people's expectations were. And it looks like from the reviews right now it is, and that is The Alters. It is getting fantastic reviews ahead of its launch. It's getting 10s out of 10s, 9s out of 10s, and 8s out of 10s. It is sitting pretty high here on Metacritic with an aggregate score of 86 and 85. So 86 on Metacritic and 85 on OpenCritic. It comes today. You're going to be able to go ahead and jump in and play it. So looking forward to this one. This is kind of just another win for Game Pass that has been on a consistent winning streak here throughout 2025. It's great to see that this one here is going to be one that people are going to want to check out. Very cool one. Sci-fi. You're playing multiple different personalities and stuff. It looks like it is going to be a mind-bending game, but I'm very, very excited to jump in and play it. Hollow Knight is a game that a lot of people are waiting for. Hollow Knight Silksong. They're just trolling now at this point, I think, with the release date. I mean, we saw it at the Xbox showcase with the handhelds, and they said that you're going to be able to play it on this handheld. It is launching day one into Game Pass, but for some reason, they're already teasing DLC without actually giving us a release date for the game itself. It says here that Hollow Knight Silksong boldly teases DLC before even giving a release date, and fans are poking fun to hide the pain, saying, sure, hope this DLC doesn't turn into a full-fledged game that takes 8 years to develop. So they're definitely trolling here. I feel like they're going to troll all the way up until the launch of this game, especially now that they are talking about DLC. And specifically, this comes here via Silksong's marketing lead, Matthew Leth Griffin, who left a very short, very significant message in his chat saying, there's always DLC. He posted this, not saying a single word more. So people are now saying here that there's DLC confirmable. You don't even have a release date for the game, but it's going to be coming out in the next half of 2025. And then finally, people will stop having to hope that this game is going to be announced with a release date at every single showcase that does end up happening. All right, we got some interesting information about a potential acquisition here, and this involves Tencent. Looks like they're reportedly interested in purchasing Nexon, which is a pretty big company. They've released some free-to-play stuff, some big games like the Finals and the First Descendant, and they do a lot of other stuff. So this would be a pretty big purchase here for Tencent if they were able to end up doing this. But here is what they say. Nexon has a big list of celebrated franchises and releases, and the developer and publisher seems to be going from strength to strength, and has caught the attention of Tencent, which is considering buying the company to add to its ever-growing list of gaming investments. I mean, Tencent is really everywhere. They're trying to get into as many places as possible. They keep increasing their stakes. And in fact, they did recently announce that they had acquired 15.75% of a stake in Arrowhead Game Studios, the makers of Helldivers 2, which was a very successful game. So this would just add to that. But the news comes here from Bloomberg, who is suggesting that Tencent is interested in purchasing Nexon, estimated to be worth $15 billion. dollars. They are studying a deal, and the company is on the lookout for ways to bolster its lucrative gaming operations. So we will see what happens. They've had good releases recently, as they do mention here, like the first Berserker Kazan, the first Descendant, which is a free-to-play looter shooter style of game, which is pretty fun. And Nexon is a majority owner of Embark Studios, so that's the Finals and Arc Raiders. So pretty big here if they ended up getting this. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, this would be a smart acquisition. You can see the games that Nexon is putting out. They have been successful. They are on the cusp here of releasing Arc Raiders, which I think will be a successful extraction shooter that's going to be taking on Marathon, but everything that's happened with Marathon, that competition really is kind of going away. So now is the time before they get even bigger and even more successful. All right, we got some announcements here for some games that are going to be being worked on and coming out in the future. First of all, Konami announced and confirmed that they are working on Silent Hill 1 remake now with Bloober Team, which makes complete sense because the Silent Hill 2 remake did well. Bloober Team created it. They put this out here. You can see Silent Hill, Konami, Bloober Team, and it says in development. This was all done at the Konami Digital Showcase. We don't really know anything else other than that. We don't know when this is going to be coming out, but basically they were just saying that Bloober Team did well on the first one, which was Silent Hill 2. The success of that has built trust, and now they're going to be here creating the remake for Silent Hill. So if you're a fan of this series, these are finally coming out of remakes, and you're going to have lots to play, and they'll probably continue making more in this series, especially if the first one here, Silent Hill, is successful. If you're a fan of Total War, Creative Assembly said that they will be revealing the next era of Total War in December. They say here the company's celebrations will kick off in August with behind the scenes content, including a retrospective interviews, developer live streams, multiplayer tournaments, and discounts across the series. And this is to celebrate here the franchise's 25th anniversary. And then they go on here to say that in early December, the Creative Assembly will hold an anniversary showcase video presentation unveiling what's next for the franchise. It's a big franchise. If you are a fan of Total War, it's a big year to celebrate the 25th anniversary, getting a look into what is to come next. It's a big year for people who are fans of that series. We also have this year that Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 has reached 7 million copies. So this is cool to see because the first game was the one that I played back on the 360. It got me into this series. It is actually out right now with a remaster of it. I'm playing through that right now as well. And then the second one, I think, has brought the Space Marine series to prominence, and we will probably be seeing more in this series itself. They put out this post saying 7 million Space Marines fighting to defend the Imperium. You make the Emperor incredibly proud, courage and honor, brothers and sisters. That's 7 million copies sold here, which is a milestone they say shouldn't come as much of a surprise. The game managed to sell over 4.5 million in its first month alone. And I feel like now that people are going to be playing the first one in the series, especially on Game Pass, that it is in there with the remaster, if they haven't played the second one yet, they'll probably go ahead and check it out if they do enjoy the first one. And finally, the Switch 2 continues to sell insanely well. I mean, 3.5 million in 4 days, breaking the console records. It's going to be the best selling launch console I think that we've ever seen. Doing very, very well. It is also huge in Japan. They say here that the Switch 2 is by far Japan's biggest ever console launch, likely clearing 1 million units. This comes via Famitsu, who has published the hardware sales data for the week ended June 8th. And Switch 2's first 4 days on sale in Japan have sold 947,931. So they're probably over a million by now. There is just an insanely successful console launch. In Japan, the prices were more reasonable than in other parts of the world, but the Switch 2 is huge, and the brand of the Nintendo Switch is massive because of how good they did with the first console. You have a lot of people out there who are upgrading right away. They don't want to wait. You have enthusiasts that have to get the latest and greatest that are going out and buying it right away. But 3.5 million in 4 days is huge. It's still, the question has to be asked, will this continue for the Switch 2? And in a year from now, will the sales momentum continue? Nintendo did a great job of getting a lot of inventory. So if you want to switch to, you can get one. And that is, I think, a huge advantage for Nintendo comparatively when you look at the launches of the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, where inventory was scarce and it lasted for like 2 years because of everything that was happening in the world at that time. But on the video there, if you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.